the Speeding Bulletin. My name is Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com. This is all the Superman related news there was for the week February 12th to February 18th, 2010. The big news this week was the announcement from DC Entertainment that they've named their executive management team. The new senior executive team includes Jim Lee and Dan Didio, who have been named co-publishers of DC Comics, and Jeff Johns, who will serve as Chief Executive Officer of DC Entertainment. President Diane Nelson said DC Entertainment's new creative team is a creative dream team with accomplishments and talent unrivaled in the business. The New York Times published an article about Jeff Robinov, president of the Warner Brothers Picture Group, touching on his need to make the best of their DC Comics properties. The article said that the WB's goal is to quickly and more fully exploit its DC Comics characters, something Time Warner's corporate bureaucracy has hampered in the past. On the night of February 16, Warner Home Video presented the world premiere of Justice League Crisis on Two Earths in New York. A panel discussion with filmmakers and voice casts followed the screening, with James Woods, the voice of Owlman, Andrea Romano, voice director for this and many other DC animated projects, and writer Dwayne McDuffie answering questions. Newsarama.com posted the panel live, with the transcript of the panel still available to read on their website. You can also watch a 4-minute video interview with James Wood at Newsarama.com. Meanwhile, Warner Bros. Has updated the official Justice League Crisis on Two Earths website to now include a download section. At the moment, the downloads simply consist of 10 desktop and iPhone wallpapers. Executive producer Bruce Timm offered new perspective on the creation of Justice League Crisis on Two Earths in an all-new Q&A. Check out the interview and a new video clip at the Superman homepage now. As we all know, for quite some time, Mark Millar wanted to be involved with a new Superman movie, but moved on instead to make a movie based on his successful Kick-Ass comic book. IGN.com has a video interview with Millar, where he talks about his brief brush with the Superman film franchise and gives his opinion on the matter. Peter McDermott has updated our Smallville episode guide with his summary of the most recent Season 9 episode, Warrior, while Neal Bailey and Douglas Trumbull have written their reviews for the same episode, with Doug giving it a 4 out of 5 while Neal rated it a 2 out of 5. The 14th episode of Season 9 of Smallville is scheduled to air at 8 PM on Friday, February 19th. Titled Persuasion, in this episode it's Valentine's Day, and while Clark is out on a date with Lois, he unknowingly becomes infected by gemstone kryptonite, which has magical wish-fulfilling properties. Clark mentions to Lois that he wishes they had more of a traditional relationship, so Lois quits the Daily Planet, moves in with Clark and starts planning their wedding. Look for our episode summary and reviews in the days following this episode. Newsarama.com and TVGuideMagazine.com both caught up with Alison Mack to talk to her about Warrior, the 13th episode of Season 9, which was Alison's second episode of the series as director. While Alison told TV Guide's Megabuzz that even though she'll be back at the Daily Planet later this season, don't expect to see her behind a desk. She said, "Chloe just wants to know the truth. Now that she recognises how corrupt the Daily Planet and the media is, she's doing things on her own." The Big T's column at Fancast.com heard from Smallville executive producer Brian Peterson, who said, "Martha is coming back at a time when Lois and Clark are still trying to figure out their relationship, and doing that under Mother's watchful eye is going to present a new dynamic for them." EW's Michael Osiello tells us that some secret identities won't remain so secret in an upcoming episode of Smallville. He says that two characters will soon discover each other's secret identities. Meanwhile, KryptonSite.com has learned that Maxwell Lord will be appearing in this season's 19th episode, titled Charade. The painting of the Justice Society of America seen in the Absolute Justice 2-hour telemovie recently was painted by artist Rodolfo Migliari. The original watercolour painting is being sold. No price has been announced, but interested parties can email Migliari via his blog for a price and shipping costs. Finally, while the CW renewed a number of its shows for a further season, there was no announcement regarding a possible 10th season for Smallville. However, E!Online's Kristen Dos Santos and EW's Michael Osiello both think it's very likely Smallville will return for another season. Superman homepage reviewer James Lance continues reviewing episodes of the 1950s Adventures of Superman TV series. Check out his review of Jet Ace, in which foreign agents kidnap the convalescing test pilot, who is also Perry White's nephew. In the first part of a 5-part expose, Newsarama.com spoke with writer J. Michael Straczynski about the upcoming Superman Earth 1 original graphic novel. He said, "We all know that Clark Kent is Superman, but why is he Superman? What prompted him to put on that uniform? Why did he decide to become Superman?" DC Comics released their May 2010 solicitations this week, We highlighted for you all the Superman-related comics and products soon to be released. Of special note was the 4-issue miniseries War of the Superman and the World of New Krypton action figures. DC Universe's Source gave us our first look at Marcos Mars's variant cover to Last Stand of New Krypton #1. Before the 100-minute war kicks off in the War of the Superman, writers James Robinson and Sterling Gates warm up the guns of war in the Last Stand of New Krypton. The 40th episode of the From Crisis to Crisis podcast is now available. This week Mike and Jeffrey discuss a Superman that is still in exile with the books that came out with the cover date of April 1989. Superman comics we reviewed this week included Action Comics 886, which was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who rated it a 3 out of 5, saying, essentially a long drawn-out Secret Files profile twisted into a story. Adam also reviewed Super Friends number 24, saying, the book suddenly has a superb echo of a Cartoon Network show, and he gave it a 4 out of 5. Adventure Comics number 7 was reviewed by Neal Bailey, who gave it a 3 out of 5, saying, this issue was average in every sense of the word. Superman comics and other products shipping this week from February 17th include Justice League of America number 42, which is available in an alternate cover, Supergirl number 50, also available in an alternate cover, Superman Batman number 69, Tiny Titans number 25, and DC Universe Origins trade paperback. As I mentioned last week, The History of Invulnerability is a stage production about Jerry Siegel, co-creator of Superman, written by playwright David Barkatz. This week David was kind enough to participate in an interview with the Superman homepage to talk about the stage production. You can read the interview at supermanhomepage.com. Comicbookresources.com has published an article on the upcoming reimagining of the Superman musical It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman. Essentially, the entire structure of the show was thrown out and replaced with a brand new story set in Metropolis in 1939, 1 year after the Man of Steel's first appearance. It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman debuts at the D. and Charles Wiley Theatre in Dallas, Texas on June 18 and will run until July 25th. Toy Fair 2010 took place this past weekend in New York, and there were a few Superman-related items amongst those on display, including a Gary Frank-inspired Brainiac Justice League Unlimited action figure and plush Justice League toys from Funko. Lastly, while the lighting of the Olympic torch for the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver was marred by a mechanical failure, the design of the Olympic cauldron shared an unmistakable likeness to Superman's Fortress of Solitude. And that's all the Superman-related news there was for the week February 12th to February 18th. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Hello and welcome to Bailey Planet. Today is devoted to shameless shilling. I have a friend, Jake Black, who, when I wrote a scathing review of one of his pieces in Smallville the Comic, was kind enough to write me and not want to kill my family, but actually thanked me, and we became fast friends. And over the years he's written a bunch of really great comic work, and he's done a lot of great books and a lot of stuff. And just recently he put out Supergirl 50 with Helen Slater, and it's a really cool idea, it's a really cool concept, and I just want to throw my plug out there. Go out, get it, enjoy it, because he's a good writer, he deserves to be recognized. Give it a shot.